can you imagine starting over again, your business over again, being a parent over again, being married, any of those things with the skills and the knowledge that you have now, how much better you could do it? Well, that's why I'm here. I'm almost 54 years old and I have been doing content creation since AOL said you've got mail. Yep, that old. But back then we just called it marketing. I'm not sure when marketing became content. To me, it's all the same thing. It's attracting attention from the audience that you want. Basically, that's what it is. And in order to monetize it, maybe some people are trying to attract attention to just build brand awareness. There could be all kinds of reasons, but most of us, let's not say all kinds of reasons. Most of us want to make money with our content creation. At least I do. But back then, if you created a newsletter, it was just called marketing. If you sent an email, it was called marketing. If you did a social post, even with AOL, it was called marketing. At some point, it all became content. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I would avoid if I were building a big content creation business based on my own 30 years of experience, okay? I've technically been doing marketing since teenagers. Even as a child, I was a #1 candy bar salesman and stationery because I learned how to bundle it so people would buy more. So I guess marketing is kind of in my DNA, but let's just call it content because that's what everybody likes to call it these days. Now, when I'm talking about content, I make 6 figures in a few different ways. So a few different 6-figure income streams in the digital marketing space. So this could be product reviews on TikTok Shop, on Amazon, on YouTube Shopping, on LTK. It could be ebook sales. It could be my coaching business. I'm a software affiliate. I get ad revenue on my YouTube channel and on my blog from Pinterest traffic. So there's a lot of things in there that I like to do. And I have more than one YouTube channel and it's all content. I also am part of the Facebook bonus rewards program. I get paid for posting on Facebook. So again, in my head, it's just marketing, but we all call it content. So we're going to go with content marketing. These are the things that I would avoid if I wanted to build a good content marketing business. Now you should know, well, I'll talk about some of these as we go along. Let's just go right to the first one. So one of the things that I would avoid, and I'm kind of scrolling out of the order I put them in because I was just kind of rattling off thoughts, but one of the biggest ones is I would avoid launching too many things at once. Here's where it gets tricky. I'm an omni-channel marketer. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Pinterest, I'm on blogs, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm doing all the things. But that isn't where I started, okay? And now, when I started, there weren't as many choices as there are today. And social media was not even a thing yet. You know, back then we're doing direct mail. So you send a postcard or you send a letter. There wasn't too much outside of that. Now you're like, oh, I should be on TikTok. Oh, I should be on Instagram. Oh, I should be on, none of you, the youngins aren't saying Facebook. But hey, you know what? With this Facebook bonus rewards program, more and more people are doing Facebook. Or you might be saying, oh my gosh, I heard somebody is making 6 figures now on YouTube, so I should go do YouTube. Or they're making money selling ebooks, so I should go sell ebooks. You got to be careful about that because what happens is you only have so much, 1, time in a day, 2, money to invest, although nowadays we can get started with nothing or next to nothing, and 3, energy. Okay, so let's just group them all 3 together and say resources. You only have so much resources. And if you're building here and you're building here and you're building here and you're building here, and they have different languages and they have different algorithms, they have different ways of doing things, you might not get anywhere. So my suggestion is pick something to start with. Get that something up to a point where it's monetized and it's comfortable and you have a system, and then start your next thing. Now, the caveat to that would be using software that feeds whatever you're doing to multiple platforms. So they're kind of building parallel without purpose, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I built a secondary YouTube channel, not this one, but another one, by feeding my TikTok videos in there. And a few videos went viral. Next thing I know, I've got 10,000 subscribers and I'm in all the monetization programs. So now I'm making money on ad revenue. I'm making money with YouTube shopping. I'm making money with ebooks, connected store through the shelf or whatever. I have not dived too much into that, but I just set it up and it started making money. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's look at that some more. But I too have fallen to the trap of shiny object syndrome or squirrel. And I hear somebody is doing something. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. I could do that. And so I might start dabbling in that. What happens if you dabble in that? This thing over here that was working doesn't suddenly work so well anymore because you're not paying it as much attention. Same goes for building multiple websites at the same time. I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, I got this real estate website. Now over here, I want to build this hyper-local website. Over here, I want to build this, midlife channel, whatever. And the more you do that, the less things get fed. Imagine, when you have 3 kids, when you have multiple kids, and you have the first one, and the first one gets all the brand names, and everything's brand new, and you don't want to let the kid get dirty, and there's no hand-me-downs. Then the second kid's born, it starts getting the first kid's hand-me-downs. You're starting to ask the first kid to watch the second kid. Second one's not quite getting the same attention that your first one did. It's like, okay, he's fine. Third one, you're like, take him. Hey, go see Nana. The third one's wearing the first kid's clothes that were handed down the second kid's clothes, and now the third that third one's now gonna, you know what I'm talking about if you have multiple kids. It's just the way it goes, okay? Not that you love them differently, but you have different energy, different resources. These kinds of things happen. More kids mean less resources, right? All right, so next one is scaling before simplifying. Scaling before simplifying. Everybody wants to do bigger, I want more, let's push this. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I had a website that was doing really well and it was being driven completely by Google SEO. So I loved the world of search engine optimization before AI hit, and I was really doing well driving traffic to websites by ranking on Google. Some of you guys might remember me from back then because that's what I used to teach really heavily before I got into the socials as much as I do now. And when I was ranking really well on the socials, I thought, well, I could just go hire a writer, and instead of creating the articles myself, if I hire somebody and I pay them, I buy thousands of dollars worth of articles, surely those have to land. But without setting up a really good system, a simplification process for how those articles were written, what my expectations were, kind of what the system was going to look like. But if I had simplified first, meaning, what if I had really taken a look at everything and instead of trying to scale and said, okay, I'm doing a really good job, I'm making money on this, but it's taking a lot of my time. What's another way I could simplify this before I scale it? Can I set up better systems for my own writing? Can I time block better for the way I'm doing my writing? Can I maybe just sub out one little piece, like maybe the publishing part of it, that allows me more freedom to do this part of it? Simplify before you scale, because let me tell you something. When you scale, things get complicated, and that is especially true if you bring in other people. If you've heard my other video, I work alone, you're going to understand why I work alone now and don't bring in other people. Simplify. And in today's day and age, with AI, with systems, with automation, oh my gosh, you can simplify and simplify and simplify, but really it's automate and automate and automate and automate. Do that before you scale, because it's going to make your scaling so much easier. Another thing as a content creator that I would not do is saying yes to every opportunity. People doing content creation, especially those that get into kind of the influencer space, right? You've built kind of a following on social and people know who you are, and now you're influential. So if you talk about the donut shop down the street, they're going to sell a lot of donuts later on, those kind of things. A lot of us wind up at that point. Sorry, I was looking for my microphone. It's still there. A a lot of us wind up there at that point, and then all of a sudden you're getting all these opportunities, and people are saying, hey, I'll pay you X thousands of dollars to mention my brand, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, or I'll send you all of these free samples and you promote them and put them on Amazon or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, okay. But what happens is, when you say yes to those opportunities, you have to say no to something else. And you might wind up in sample, we call it sample hell, where you're unboxing a gazillion boxes and now you have to make these videos because you've obligated to somebody else instead of being able to operate off your own momentum, your own joy, and your own pull, because now you have a job because you've taken opportunities. So you'll notice if you ever like scroll people on Facebook are always like, oh, Lori, got this opportunity for you. Lori, I want to talk about this opportunity. Or they're messaging me or they're calling me. And I very rarely even take the call. Now, some people would say, oh, you should listen to every opportunity. You don't know where that's going to go. But me, I'm focused. I know what I want. I like my business. I like the freedom. I don't want to just go sell somebody else's product. You know, I do affiliate marketing, but I promote the things that I want to promote. Most of these opportunities are somebody calling me saying, hey, I've got this great business selling these health products or, you know, whatever. I want you to do it too. And I'm like, affiliate marketing, you really can promote anything. If you go out and create affiliate relationships, or you're working with brands like YouTube has its own affiliate network where it connects with all these brands for you. So be careful about that. Also, somebody saying, hey, I'll give you $50 to make a video and mention me, or 300 video, or 500, or even 1,000, whatever it happens to be. And then they're coming back saying, oh, we didn't like the way you mentioned. Can you edit that? Can you send us a proof first? Can you this and that? Just be careful, because then you wind up working for somebody else. Okay, here's another really, really good one. If I were building a content creation business all over again, I would not let perfection slow my creation. I would not let perfection slow my creation. Now, this is an interesting one because I actually do not have that problem. People call me a perfectionist because I'm a Virgo and my closet is color-coded. Not really, but it is clean. It is organized. And did I say I like spreadsheets? And I'm disciplined, but I'm not actually a perfectionist. I'm not. And when it comes to content creation, done is better than perfect. And it's funny because I had a coaching client once that I had a great call with her, and then towards the end of the call, she was in marketing also, and she said, oh, by the way, I wanted to give you a little critique, which kind of made me laugh because I didn't ask for it, and I'd rather not have it unless I'm asking particularly for it. And she was bringing up some typos that were in my course or wherever they were, and I thought, that's interesting. And basically she said, it made me judge you. And that's not what she said. It made me trust you a little bit less because it was all I had to go on. So her point was valid, that if you don't know me and you haven't watched my YouTube video and you see a typo in a course, which please, come on, as much material as we're creating, if there's not a typo in there, it's probably AI written, because I can't imagine none of us ever have typos in there. But I do move very fast. So sure, yeah, it makes sense there would have been a typo in there. You'll see it on my Facebook post. You'll see it on whatever when I'm moving fast. Or maybe I'm even doing voice to text. And no, am I going to read everything that I post, that I create and push it out there? I'm not gonna. I'm not even going to apologize for it because I don't care. I don't care if there's a typo. I don't care if I'm missing a period at the end of a sentence, unless it completely changes the structure. You know, you put a comma in the wrong spot, it completely can change what it means. And a video. You know, I made a video last week where I was sitting in my office. It turned out to be my best video. Funny enough. See, there's my errors. Funny enough. And I had on a kind of a new t-shirt that I hadn't seen before. And I wasn't sitting like this at a table. I was like sitting back in a chair and I was higher up. Anyway, the way the t-shirt was fitting and the way the jeans were fitting were giving me a muffin top. And the t-shirt was kind of tucking right under it. You know, kind of that thing. So as I'm talking, I'm getting a little bit of belly jiggle that I don't want on the camera. And I saw this. Oh, this is how much I won't go back and redo. It wasn't even a mistake. It was a terrible reflection I felt of how I looked. And I almost didn't post it. And then I said, I'm going to post it. I want to just be, I wouldn't change it if it was a typo. Even a mistake, I might just put in the description, like I said 20,000 and it should have been 23,000, or I said, this guy said that quote and it was really this guy, like if you're just rattling off quotes or something. So I left it up there, and turned out it was really good for me to do that because it's doing great. And if I'd have waited and not done that video, I would have never got the same quality take that I got the first time. And it was so authentic and genuine. And I said, I'm just rolling with it. So listen, do I care that people trust me, especially if they're buying a coaching program or something? Of course I do. But do I really, I'm human, and I'm not a collegetic professor, okay? And so I'm gonna make mistakes, and I'm just gonna keep moving anyway, because that's what got me to where I am today, and that will get me to where I am tomorrow. So perfection causes paralyzation, so don't let that happen to you. You'll get stuck. Okay, here's a good one. If I were building a content creation business all over again, I would not build on platforms I don't want to maintain. Ooh, that's a good one. I would not build on platforms I don't want to maintain. Listen, that I don't want to, please hear that, because if you wind up getting into something you don't want to do, you will not do it. And if you do it, you'll do it reluctantly and resentfully, and that's not the energy of a money-making business. Or you'll end up hiring somebody to do it for you, and now you've hired way before you're supposed to actually do any hiring. And now you're cutting right into your own profits. And you might even not be profitable because of it. So, for example, if you don't want to be on camera, and you don't want to learn the skill set of making a faceless channel with AI, let's just say, which right now is very volatile with monetization and things like that. It can be done, but it's tricky. Then don't build a YouTube channel, okay? Because you won't show up for it. If that isn't what you want to do, you won't show up for it. I'm going to give you a legit example with me. I have a second YouTube channel. And I started it it's a lifestyle channel, just feeding in my TikTok short form videos to it, and it took off, and it's monetized, and it makes money, and it's part of the YouTube shopping program, and I love it. But it was built on vertical short form video, not like this, vertical short form. But the real money still is in horizontal long form. It is. It's easier to build a loyal audience, get repeat people back, creates rapport. You feel like you know me a little bit. You're learning my personality and style. When it's just all this short form and reels and quick product reviews, there's no community. We're not building a community. There's no relationship building, okay? Plus, more people still to this day, more people watch YouTube on the TV than they do on mobile. I don't know the exact stats, but was it the CEO of YouTube that I just watched the interview? He's been making the rounds. Said that they, as of the latest report, still more people watch YouTube than they do on their phones, which I would have probably told you the otherwise. So I was surprised to hear that. So that horizontal video still matters because that's how people are watching their videos. So I said, okay, I'm going to start doing these unboxings and shopping hauls. And the problem is I don't want to get up and put on hair and makeup most days. And to be in a shopping haul, I mean, even today I'm casual, right? And I don't have on a lot of makeup, and I got my hair done today, but I didn't go and curl it and all that. And so I'm okay with this. But to do a big shopping haul where I'm unboxing, I got to check the stomach and make sure I'm not getting any, whatever I just said the roll was that goes over your jeans. That's so funny. Muffin top. You got to look at everything, and the room's got to be set right, and the lighting's got to be set right because you're walking around and bopping around, and I don't love it. So what is happening to me is I'm not being disciplined about it because it isn't something I actually want to do. That could change, and it's getting better with my setup, but because it is, I don't love that whole, it's not that I don't love the platform, it's really that I don't like the format more than it is the platform, okay? If you don't want to learn how to build a WordPress website, don't get into blogging. Okay, now you can blog on a third-party platform. You can blog, find an AI website, but I just mean if you're don't try to learn WordPress if you don't want to manage WordPress. Okay, I see it all the time. Everybody's like, oh, Lori, I want to do what you do. I want to have a website like you do. So they go out and they put one together and they're, oh, I can't do this and I can't do this and I'm frustrated by this and how does that plugin work and yada, yada, and they don't want to do it. So they don't get there. So pay attention to that, okay? If I were building a big content marketing business again, I would not expect fast results from long-term strategies. Another stat they said on Facebook yesterday, and this one was definitive, they said the average person puts out 25 videos before they quit. I don't know how they grouped in that average. The average creator, maybe it had to do with within a certain time frame, but the exact quote was they make 25 videos and then they quit. Because with 25 videos, you're still not getting, a lot of times you're not getting a lot of views. 25 videos for some people, it's because they'll do 1 or 2 in January and then they don't do 1 in February and then they'll come out and do 3 or 4 in March and then maybe they'll get really hustled and they'll do 5, 6, 7, 8 in April, but then nothing is landing because they're trying all these different things to see what sticks. So YouTube hasn't figured out who they are yet. It doesn't know who to serve their videos to yet. There's not enough content for people to binge on that's kind of all in the same niche yet. They haven't learned the skills. They don't know the thumbnails, how to title. Yeah, so they're learning while they're doing and they're expecting big results. And it doesn't work that way. I built a Pinterest account last year and it was a Pinterest project where I wanted to see if AI could do anything on Pinterest and if it would make any money. That was the whole reason I did it. I didn't do it to make money. I did it to test it because I have a digital marketing coaching program and there were some people talking about Pinterest. I was like, well, let's just see what it does. So I built it. Guess what? Now today it's making $1,000 a month. I don't do a whole lot with it. I could do more for sure if I wanted to go spend some time and scale that up. There are people doing 6 figures in Pinterest blogging, many of them AI. But I'm really happy with the $1,000 a month because I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was really going to make any money. And now it's feeding me income off of all the blogs I did last year. But let me tell you how many times I almost walked away from it. Me and ChatGPT even masterminding over my analytics because I feed ChatGPT all my analytics to kind of discuss business moves with. And we were both like, nah, Pinterest needs to go. Pinterest needs to go. It's really just, it's out of everything I touch, it's the lowest on the charts and it's, more effort than some of the other ones. And it doesn't have the big wins that some of the other ones do. Like at the time I'm making a TikTok video and one time I made $5,000 in one day and then I made $5,000 the next day on TikTok. And you're just not going to see that on Pinterest, right? And so we were kind of going back and forth. But I just had this instinct that this is going to become something. This could become something. And I just kind of dabbled at it and dropped a little and put a little blog here or there. And all of a sudden, I don't know what moment it was. It feels like it was like maybe, honestly, I think it was after the 1 year mark. Because I didn't feed it a whole lot, right? I think it was probably after the 1 year mark that it suddenly decided, oh, we like her now. We're gonna give her pins some more impressions, and some of my pins are ranking #1 for their topics. People are clicking through to my blog. I'm making ad revenue on the blog and affiliate commissions. So, for example, this morning I sold rocks, literally, like the little pet rock, like little rocks you paint from Amazon because somebody clicked through on my pin that talked about a fun craft night, and one of the items on the craft night was rock painting, and I linked to the rocks and they bought the rocks. I have another one that talks all about shoe organization systems and they buy the shoe organization system. I've got another one that talks about reverse osmosis systems and they buy a reverse osmosis system. So it works. But if I had expected quick results, I would have been disappointed and I would have quit. So you have to kind of know, this is what I'm building towards. This is the framework. This is the model. Go out and find 2 or 3 people that are doing the business you want to do. Whether that's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or podcasting or affiliate marketing, any of the things. Find somebody that's like you, that's doing it like you want to do, right? Especially if you can find somebody in a similar niche as you, and then say, what is she doing exactly? Or what is he doing exactly? That creator I love on YouTube. You might say, they remind me of me. I could pass off, that personality is kind of like me. They're successful. Okay, that means people would like somebody like me, because there's another one and he's successful. And oh my gosh, he also is in the DIY fix it up niche, and so am I. And so, okay, and it looks like they're talking about that they make a full-time living on YouTube, or a nice little side hustle on YouTube, or whatever you've heard. Then, or I just like that person has 100,000 subscribers or more. So you go then look at their cadence. Go look at how many videos they're posting and how often. Okay, that person is kind of like me. They're in a niche like me. They're where I want to go, and they're publishing one 20-minute long form video every week. Can I commit to that? Yes. Okay, then that's where you're going to go. That person's publishing twice a week. Oh gosh, can I commit to that? Yes. Okay, I can do that. 3 a week. No, that would be rough. I got a full-time job. That's going to be rough for me to do. Okay, then that may or may not be your model. Okay, so you've got to kind of watch for those things and then put in the time. Put in the time. You don't know how long it took that person before they started getting their subscribers, because content ramps up like that. It's slow. No viewers, hardly any viewers, 2 viewers, 10 viewers, 200 viewers. Wait, 2,000 viewers. Oh my gosh, I got 2,000 views on a video. Subscribers, followers. Wait, now they're starting to binge on all the other content. Wait, now my older content is starting to push up because I'm continuing to feed the algorithm and be consistent. And so now it's rewarding me with starting to push out some of my older stuff too. So as long as I keep up that consistency, then I can expect a return. That's how content marketing works. Some of us get lucky. I started my TikTok. I made $47,000 my first 3 months. That's not normal. That was a cash cow that came out of nowhere. It had no rules. Things are a little bit different now. I still make money on there every month, but it's not the same as it was then. So just think, sometimes being an early bird has its advantages. Okay. And then I also, if I were starting a content creation business all over again, I think I'm going to leave it with this one so the video doesn't get too much longer. I would not create content for everyone. I would create content for someone. What that means is I'm not going to worry about what my mom thinks of my content and what my sister thinks of my content and what the people on Facebook think of my content. I'm focused on creating content for a particular audience, okay? If you hear nothing else in this video, unless I've already said that, you got to hear that word, audience. This would be people who digest your content. Maybe not subscribers. They might not be followers. They're an audience. They are the people with the eyeballs on the content that you're creating, or their hands on it, or whatever the type of content it is that you're creating. They are the ones that are taking it in. That's your audience. So if you're creating content, you have to figure out, who is my audience that I'm trying to reach? Where are they? What platform are they on? What problems do they have? What things do they like to do? How do I reach them with information? How do I attract their attention? But then you don't worry about everybody else, because everybody else doesn't matter. It's only your target audience that matters. And I promise you that your brother's going to laugh at you, or your friend Joe is going to tease you, or somebody's going to go, oh, Mom, that is, what's the word, that cringe. That's cringe, Mom. You shouldn't be on TikTok. You're over 40. That's so cringe. But you're cleaning up because you're making money on your 1-minute dance videos or whatever else it might happen to be. Your child isn't your audience, right? Get that straight so that you don't worry about what everybody else is thinking and you only worry about, am I creating the right content for my audience? All right, I will leave that here for today. My name is Lori Ballen. If you like this type of teaching, I do have a coaching program, ballenblueprint.com, where I teach people how to make money online through the strategies that I do every day. I hope you'll subscribe. If you like this video, comment below, let me know, and I will talk to you soon.